Hello dear World of Warcraft friends, welcome back to a new video on my channel. Today it's about the final boss, Nullaeus. The season is slowly coming to an end. Some of you might not have tried it yet. Among other things, there are achievements for it. You can unlock mounts, like the Arcane Void construct here. And I just tried the whole thing with my healer, and I'm going to give you a foolproof plan here. How you defeat the boss, get this mount at the end, a feat of strength, and so on and so forth. So we'll take a look at the whole thing in a moment. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And yes, I would really appreciate it if you support me in this way. You go in for level ? Recommended for item level 274. But theoretically, it also works below that. Like I said, out of all the specs, I think healer is the easiest. You don't have to worry about anything except maybe dispelling and doing a bit of healing. So the mechanics that actually made the boss difficult, like surviving, killing mobs, interrupting, you don't have to do any of that. What's important here is that you take as many buffs with you as you can. And the higher Valera's level is, the more you benefit. So that's something where you can say it makes things easier because it's faster. But basically, even if she doesn't do much damage, it still works. It just takes longer. You play her as a DPS and take the Porcelain Blade tip as the Curio. Down here, I left the Mandate of Holy Death in by default because I always play with it. Theoretically, this isn't the best because you can't stack it higher. For example, the Overflowing Tip of Teaching here is also very, very good. You could take that instead for even more damage. Yeah, and after that, it basically starts. In the end, you let Valera do all the work in this whole thing. You really only need to pay attention to two things. That she doesn't die. And that you don't die. But that's very, very unlikely. Let's take a quick look at the fight. All in all, she'll probably draw aggro at some point. But especially at the beginning, just be a little careful. The abilities that make this boss difficult include this one here, Devouring Essence. That's something that lands on you as a debuff and does quite a lot of damage. You need to dispel it. You can try to heal through it, but personally I wouldn't recommend it. And then there's also this Emptiness of Doctrine. The boss does that throughout the entire fight, about every 20-something seconds. That has to be interrupted every time. You won't survive it even as a tank. And this is where Valera comes into play. If she's DPS, she interrupts that thing every single time and almost makes you completely obsolete in the end. You just stand here, make sure she doesn't die, and dispel yourselves from time to time. And she does the rest on her own in the end. At 75, 50, and 25% additional adds join the fight, but Valera wipes them out so quickly. Now you see the first ad wave spawn here. These are the Devastators. In theory, I could really just stand here for the whole fight. It doesn't bother me at all. You should get out of these voids here, and these ads then leave a bleed behind. But you see, I don't know why it is, but with new enemies and when Valera starts the fight, her damage goes insanely high. She just wiped out both ads with several 100,000 HP just like that. So what you get from 75% on is this here, this beam that comes into the middle. You can theoretically stand in it. It doesn't do that much damage. So if anyone has real trouble with movement, you could theoretically do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but it would work. And that's basically almost the entire fight. At 25%, a boss ad appears which has more HP. I used Bloodlust there, and Valera took it down in under 10 seconds. And that's why you want her at as high a level as possible, because then she deals more damage. And the rest is just completely trivial. So there's only one new ability coming up. It's an orb that pulls you in when it's nearby. But since you don't really have to dodge anything here, as long as you heal yourself, this orb doesn't matter at all. Now these ticks spawn here. Again, you can deal damage to them. You should just hit them once so that Valera goes over there as well. Otherwise, I've noticed she doesn't always switch targets that well. But here too, right, you can see it. She takes that stuff down faster than I did as a DPS. And here too, reliably, she interrupts every single time. So, and now, like I said, you have this part here where that orb is flying around back there. That's the one that pulls you in if you're nearby. But you can really just ignore it. It doesn't really do much. And you see it. It's unbelievably easy. Really. Healing through her damage is actually not really difficult either. Sure, if your item level is 230 right now, it will probably be a bit more difficult. But personally, I think I've played the boss now as a tank, as a healer, and as a DPS. The boss is basically not that difficult. But as a healer, it's really absolutely, as I said before, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, foolproof. Now, the final ad appears, and you can see here how she really goes to town when she switches to a new target. I have no idea why its damage suddenly shoots up so high. But that thing has over 3 million HP, she just completely deleted it. Yeah, completely. Now the boss is coming, we pop Bloodlust and use our shout. You don't even have to do that on the ad because it just dies so quickly. And yeah, after that she just does the rest of the job by herself. Accordingly, I can only recommend that if you haven't had any success so far, really take advantage of this. It makes it so much easier. The advantage, you get the feats of strength, you get the mount, and you also get 1 or 2 decorative items. And on the first kill, you get 60 heroic crests and 30 mythic crests. So if you still want to farm crests, this is a super efficient method, at least for the first kill. After that, you won't get them anymore. After that, it's only 5 crests of each per week. I hope this helped you a bit. Feel free to try it out. I would say that anyone can do it this way. Good luck, and with that, see you in the next video. Take care.